Hello and welcome to Legal Basics with Cyril Law Global, and my name is Sian. Today we're going to talk about holding of property under a company as opposed to holding it under an individual. In our previous broadcast, we mentioned that the current company's law in Kenya allows for a sole-owned company. So that means that a person can register a company under their name where they are the shareholder who also doubles up as a director. However, legally, these two positions are distinct and separate. Also, in a previous broadcast, we have suggested that people who live in the diaspora do have the option of buying a company, of registering a company, and then appointing a local director who can then enter transactions for them. So that is the first advantage of a company. The fact that you can have a director who contracts on your behalf if for some reason you're not able to contract. Secondly, human beings are all going to die. This is a reality of life. However, companies last forever. Because of this very unique characteristic of a company, when you create a company, you sort of create a legal clone that is going to outlive you. So when you create a company, you've created an entity that can hold property way after you are not here, you're no longer here. Third, a company is a very separate legal person from the owner. For instance, Paul is separate from Paul Limited. So when Paul registers Paul Limited, the property held under Paul Limited is not going to be touched by the dealings that Paul is going to enter as a person. One of those dealings is marriage. Remember, under our current marriage laws, if a person gets married and their spouse gets to improve or carry out anything on the property that they already owned before the marriage, then they acquire a stake. However, property owned under a company is not subject to matrimonial causes because the person and the company owned by a person are two separate, distinct legal entities. So this is one way that people can insulate themselves and the properties that they have from marriages. And we're living in unprecedented times where people get into probably one or two or three or more marriages in their lifetime. And some of those stories are very tragic, where people get one spouse, they improve this property, they divorce, the spouse has to get half of that property, then they get another spouse. So having a property under a company is also another way to insulate it. Now, a company or holding property under a company also ensures that there's some form of continuity when a person dies and when their dependents have to go through the process of succession. Because as we said, a company is a separate legal entity. For instance, if a person over the years has accumulated lots of properties and a company and this person dies, the directors of the company can carry on managing this property before the succession process has gone through. So, for example, in the event of a succession, only the shares of the company will move. The directorship will not. So eventually, the shareholders could change the directors in office, but if they don't, the directors at the point of maybe the owner passing away will still carry on management exactly the same way that it was when a person was alive. I hope that this broadcast has been helpful. I imagine there will be many questions. Please reach us on our email address, cyrillawglobal@gmail.com, or comment here below. We are going to answer all your questions. Thank you for staying tuned. Protect yourself, protect your family, and God bless. Bye-bye.